Greetings YouTube Mandem, it is Multiplier here with an interesting video that I think you'll find interesting. But yes, what is going on? We all know that Serum is the best VST synth, and I'll probably do a long video explaining why at some stage. I've given you some of the reasons already, but yes, Serum is the best VST synth. However, there are some other VST synths that are interesting and quite fun to use, such as this one. Now this one is called Audjoo Helix, and it's one of my favourite because it's insanely powerful and it makes amazing sounds, but it's a bit of a ridiculous thing to program presets in because some of the concepts involved are powerful but a bit mental and a bit confusing, and it's very quirky, you might say, or idiosyncratic. And therefore I think it'll be quite a fun challenge to make a sound from scratch live on air on YouTube. Yes, I have actually read the manual for this, so I should have a loose understanding of how it works. But as you'll see, it's not very intuitive at all. In fact, it's the opposite of intuitive. It's completely ridiculous, but I like it because of that. In fact, what I'll do is maybe edit this in to the beginning bit and just, edit it in using the magic of editing so you can hear what it sounds like before I actually make it. So yes, let's have a go. Let's try and make something from scratch. Righteous. So what sort of sound do I want to make? I have no idea, but we'll work it out as we get into it. First things first, let's initialize the preset, which I'm not entirely sure how. How do you reset it? MISC. There you go, MISC. There you go. If you want to initialize Audjoo Helix, go to the MISC category. Yeah, and then there's sync, Mitchu, init. Yeah, so cool. We've initialized it. Fantastic. Oh. Coolies. So that's logical. First of all, the initial preset has a delay on it. So first thing I want to do is remove the delay. So I reckon effects. Yeah, delay. Little green light. Turn that off. Brilliant, coolies. Next step is figure out what envelope controls the overall amplitude of the noise. Now I'm looking at the level meter, there's a bit of a pluck. I reckon it may be EG1 matrix, well there's nothing in the matrix. So we've got to guess now. That's cool. So I've got to figure out which one of these EGs, which I now know means envelope generator, I didn't initially. So which one of these EGs for envelope generator represents the overall amplitude of this sound? See what I mean? None of it really makes any sense. Why wouldn't you just have ENV1, ENV2, and so on? I have no idea, but yeah, that's just where we are. So now what I have to do is, I think I'm just going to try maybe just play around with each of these. It'll probably be EG1 or 4, envelope 1 or 4. Let's try 1 first of all. So if I soften up the attack, if I can even figure out how to do that. No, that's what? That right. So that is the height. How do I change the time? Oh, T for time. Oh, look at that. It's changing. Figured it out. T is the time. There you go. Right. So, oh, there you go. Figured it out. So you can hear that soft, slow attack on the sound now. Cool. So figured it out. First of all, envelope 1 controls the overall amplitude. Now what I have to do is configure the envelope to look like I want it to look. And I probably have to decide what sort of sound I want. Now these are weird, quirky envelopes. Check this out. So you can actually invert some of the values. It's a bipolar envelope. Where'd you see that? Never. So yeah, I've basically pulled the decay level below 0 into the minuses. What is going on there? Does the phase flip? Or I've no idea what's going on with that. But yeah, it's weird envelopes that go up and down. I don't know. How would I let's set that at 0. Oh, oh, oh. Now the release. Why does the release have a level? I thought I set sustain at 0. Oh, I have noticed because of the decay time is quite long. These aren't normal envelopes, but they're quite cool because of that. What is R2? What is R2? There's like 2 releases. Oh, what? It's like a release goes up and down. What? Oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't realize it did that. Okay, let me just explain what's going on. What happens normally when you have an envelope and it releases, it just normally just goes down and that's it. So it's like a sort of thing. So when you let go of the MIDI note, the envelope does the release portion of the envelope. But in this case, the release has 2 components to it. So you can see in this situation, what I've got is the sustain, the green bit of the envelope, finishing at 0. So as I hold down the note, it's at 0, but then when I let go, you have this 2-stage release thing, which will go up and then down. How cool is that? It's like magic. Oh, spooky. I haven't quite figured out how that would be useful, but maybe it's useful for some sounds. But yeah, I think that's cool. And then there's these bits. What does that do? Right, so you have this S. Oh no, that probably means exponential linear. No, it doesn't. No, right. Slash probably means linear. Then yeah, there you go. So the slash is linear curve shape. I can make that more obvious. S is super duper. E is not quite a super duper, and then L is that. No idea. It's weird, but it's cool. And there's an airplane outside. You know what? That is confusing. It's very cool, but it's confusing. So I'm going to ignore all that and keep it simple for this video. How do I reset that to 0? Why don't you double click? Oh, just type it. 0, there you go. Just resetting the levels to 0, decay to 0, and now that should be a nice little plucky shape. But there's release on it. Why is there release on it? Because there's release time. Just crank that down. Cool. Quicken up the attack. Maybe give it a bit of S. That's going a different direction to the other one. I don't know why. What? No, nice, nice. Cool. Got a bit of a pluck happening. Let me turn up the master volume. Keeping it simple. Well, let me set an interesting scale on my push. Oh, can't even see. Major pentatonic G. Next, I want to apply a pitch envelope to the sound, and I think if I use envelope 1, it'll sound pretty cool. So yeah, let me see if I can figure this out. And also, I want it to be exactly 2 octaves, otherwise known as 24 semitones. And yeah, I think it will probably be in the matrix. Yeah, source and destination. So I reckon source EG1, destination. Now, there's only one oscillator. Oscillator 1 pitch. I reckon that'll work. Oh, there's an amount. So what is going on there? I'm dragging it left and it's going right. And then it... What is going on there? Why is it going left when I'm dragging it right? Look. Look at this. Audjoo Helix, you nutter, what you doing? Oh, wait a minute. I know what's going on. You know how for this amount slider, it's a slider that goes from left to right. Therefore, because it goes from left to right, your first thoughts would be, right, coolies, I've got a left to right slider. What would be amazing is if I just dragged it the direction I want it to go. If I want it to go right, I drag it to the right. If I want it to go left, I drag it to the left. But no, you can't do that in Audjoo Helix. Instead, if you want it to go right, you drag it up. If you want it to go left, you drag it down. Because that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So yeah, look, drag up to the right, drag down to the left. Now, I totally get why Audjoo Helix, I forget the name of the person who made it. I totally get why that seemed like a good idea at the time, because when you drag up, you're increasing the value of the parameter, which in the case of this one makes it go right. But that's not the way that almost any other synthesizer works. So, okay, I'll just drag it up and down and remember that. That's bloody bonkers. I wanted to do it exactly 2 octaves. Let me just figure out which direction I want to go. Yeah, probably left. But I want it to be exactly 2 octaves. Do you reckon it knows? Is it as good as Serum? Minus 24 ST. That might have worked. I want to increase the level of oscillator 1. Somewhere here, there'll be a level. No idea where. There must be a level. Stage type mask. Amplitude, found it. Yep. Wait, what? Okay, so here's another logical thing. The amplitude control is bipolar. It goes in both directions because that's... What? Why have you got that? Look, so in the middle, around 0, nothing at all, nothing at all. Go right or up. Gets louder, cool, cool. And it goes backwards, just leave it up to the right. All this bipolar 2-directional stuff is very confusing. And let's make it more interesting. Let's use that EG1 to also change the harmonic content of the sound as it's playing through. And I think that means I have to figure out which one of these many horizontal but actually vertical sliders I have to modulate with EG1. Shape. That might do it. Let's try mirror just for fun, just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit of mirror could be cool. EG1. I don't think it's there. Do I want morph? Do I need to set up some form of morph? This is where maybe if I'd read the manual, I would know exactly what to do. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, just remember the manual. So yeah, morph changes from the left or A to B, I think. So if I change the mirror on B, oh, there you go, look. And then you can morph between the 2 different wave shapes. Sweetness, and then I'll modulate that. Cool. Sweetness, and then yeah, I'll assign EG1 to that morph. That should work. Oscillator 1 morph, there you go. Maybe the other way might sound cool. I don't know, I think it's doing a bit of something. I think it's kind of doing it. Sounds cool to me. And then I also want... Ah, cool, it's already in polyphony mode. In fact, I can see that there. Polyphony, and I'll keep it... Yeah, I'll keep it in polyphony so I can do chords and stuff. Although it is clipping a bit. Turn that down. And I want some reverb. Reverb on. What is from freaky pre-delay happening there? Oh, S. S for size of pre-delay, probably. Weird. Some freaky reverb. Mix up. Yeah, S is the size of the pre-delay. Weird, instead of T for time. I don't get it. That is a freaky reverb. There's no overall size. No idea. Bit more low pass. More damping. Okay, so the damping is almost like the size, but in reverse. Lovely bit of small room reverb. Bit more mix. It's like everything's backwards and upside down in this, but kind of makes it interesting. Liking the sound of that. Let's add some delay with no feedback. Decrease the left and right time. Giving you some of that stereo vibe. Mix. What is the mix? What? Right, so the mix has two controls. U, key, D. Left and right, maybe? But why is it U and D? No idea. Stupid phone. What does U mean? Is this some sort of key tracking thing? Maybe. I don't know. I've no idea, but it's staying right there. In fact, it needs to be thicker as a sound. So let's see if I can figure out the unison now. The unison from memory is ridiculously powerful in this, but in a different way to the unison is ridiculously powerful in Serum. From memory, I think the phase control in this is much better than Serum, but you don't have that cool visual feedback and all that layering potential that you get in Serum. So yeah, let's see if I can just add a bit of unison. Maybe, I don't even know. Let's see if I can work it out. Multi, maybe? Spread. Sounds like it's doing it. Yeah, this will be the voices here. Forgot to put a limiter on the stupid. I want to keep it clean with only 2 voices and spread apart. And then some free phase roaming action. In fact, you do get visual feedback on this. You can see it in the little readout. So you can see as you're offsetting the phase between the different voices, you can actually see it all, which is pretty cool. In fact, really cool. Lovely. In fact, I'd say that's one of my favorite features of this particular synthesizer. Does it need any additional layers? Maybe I can just mess about with this wave shaping bit. I keep getting thrown off because the parameters are horizontal, but Audjoo makes me do it vertical. You know what? That might be it. Get some finer resolution control going on here. Maybe lengthen the delay a bit, or the decay, sorry. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, it's clipping again. Turn that master volume down. That sounds pretty good to me. In fact, yeah, I think that'll do it, to be honest. It's got some detail, but at the same time, it's not too complicated. It's not complicated for the sake of being complicated. Well, that was weird. All the levels just went mega maxed out. Everything went red, and then my headphones went bang, and then it was chaos. And then everything cut out, so I had to restart the video. But you know what? At least it hopefully recorded the actual main bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. That was weird. I don't know if it was the cable or the preamp or the microphone. No idea. Something went completely nuts. Could have been a spooky ghost. But yes, I'll be upgrading my microphone and stuff when I move to the new place. So that's cool anyway. Yes, what I was trying to say is I think that will do for the sound. It's nice and complete. It's got some detail. It's interesting, but it's also simple. And yeah, it's been fun playing around with Audjoo Helix. In fact, what I'll do is maybe edit this in to the beginning bit and just, yeah, edit it in using the magic of editing so you can hear what it sounds like before I actually make it. Endless fun to be had, not just with the preset, but with multiplier as an entity.